Hi, everyone.
Hello, gorgeouses. Welcome to the Shaman's Tea. I'm Starr and I'm so happy to be here with you guys today. Hello, my darling Mia. How are you? I have a hard time. I have something to think about. Well, first of all, I'm gonna ask let you answer the question. Well, because the way that I look in this computer, when I'm looking at you, it looks like I'm looking someplace not at you. So
Because you're not ever, we are trained to look at each other's eyes. And so your image come up on my screen and I look on at your eyes on the screen instead of into the camera.
right, so I'm looking at you right now. Where does it look like I'm looking?
You're looking down there at the screen.
I'm looking at you, but it
If
looks,
you want to
I
look
don't
at
know, it
me,
feels like I'm not even looking at you because
if you
you're
want to
over
look at me, you
there.
have to look at the camera.
Because you're, what?
You have to look at the camera if you want to look like you're looking at me. Now you're looking at
Oh,
me.
okay.
Now
Now
you're
I'm
looking
looking
at me.
at you. Oh, this
Yeah.
is such, the logistics of the shaman tea. Welcome, here we are.
We understand.
Okay, so how are you, darling?
I'm doing great. Yeah. What, you
Great.
want me to go into detail here? Is that what you're saying?
Well,
I double donated red blood cells and my energy is very low, but
okay.
otherwise I'm fine.
Yeah, gotcha. Gotcha. Donate that blood. I don't know. You're braver than I. I'm not going to do it. I won't do it. You can't have my blood. Okay,
Well,
you
I
could have
have to
my blood
say
if
that
you needed it. I would give
what
you my blood.
exactly, and as I'm lying there, I am basically telling my blood, you may go into that bag, but any energy of mine, come back. And I keep calling my energy back, come back, you stay here. Blood, you can go. Energy, come back. That's kind of my little thing that I
Got your
do.
little mantra when you do it. That's awesome.
I'm sure there's ceremony that you can do so that, your energy stays with you. But that's my little, very simplified ceremony.
And I mean, here we are on the Shaman's Tea talking deep stuff, it's like, how do we not give our energy out to the vampiric energies that is out there? How do we, if we have done that, given our energy, and to the point of depletion, how do we reclaim the energy home? Reclaim. There are ways that you guys can do that, reclaiming your energy, calling your energy back. We've all been, susceptible. I mean, I'm assuming all of us have had situations where, we have overshared, overgiven. We talk about codependent relationships. I mean, there it is, um, and times where it's just been stolen outright. I want your energy. Let me have it. We know those kind. I've seen
Mhm.
them kinds many times. Yeah. So yeah, reclaim your energy, guys. Do it now. It's full moon time. What a great time to do that. Reclaim your energy, reclaim the lost pieces of your soul, reclaim however way you want to say it. Call back reclaim your energy. And it's just not to say that we don't have a give and receive reciprocal relationship, then it's in right relationship. But if it's not, and somebody's been sucking your energy dry, didn't
Yeah,
know
so
we were going to get into vampiric energy today, did we?
no, we did not. I mean, my cards here said nothing about vampiric energy.
Yeah, me either. Oh my goodness, this is so fun, so fun, so fun.
like, oh, that's
So we
interesting.
haven't been on the shaman's tea for a while, and I just want to take a minute to do some, I don't know, maybe housekeeping business about the shaman's tea and just kind of, I want to thank you guys. I want to thank you for your comments. I want to thank you for tuning in. I want to thank you for, all of the support that you're giving us. And it seems like it's like around the world, it's fun. It's great. And I really appreciate it. And I appreciate you sharing. I've noticed that you're sharing our teas, and so I really appreciate that. I really appreciate all of you. And so thank you. Just taking that time to say thanks. Yeah. And thank you to Mia for being my soul sister, being willing to do this, on a weekly basis and as much as we possibly can. And
Right back at you.
taking the time. I know that it's a lot and it's beautiful. And I appreciate you.
Right back at you. I love sharing this energy, and I think that it feels like the world is ready to move on, and the word normal came up the other day, and I thought to myself, oh, normal. But anyway,
Let's talk about that for a little bit, can we?
sure.
Yeah. So, I know here in California, I'm in San Diego, in case you guys didn't know that. Um, this is where I live. So I travel a lot with my work and doing ceremonies all over, which I'm very fortunate and very grateful for. And when I'm not doing that, my home, my heart is here in San Diego. And I was walking through my little park along the bay the other day and thinking about this thing called normal and us getting back to normal. And California has opened up, right? We've opened, and it's a no mask zone, and it's kind of an interesting thing about if you wear a mask, you haven't been vaccinated. If you do wear a mask, then you've had your shot, and that kind of points at who has gotten what, and what I feel is a very private decision. It's your medical, and I was kind of brought up on you don't disclose what's going on in your medical world, and you don't need to share that. And so now this is kind of this interesting thing, and what is the new norm? And I was really contemplating that. I was walking through the park, and um, I have been the person to kind of be on the side of, God, I hope it doesn't go back to normal. I don't want it the way that it was. We have learned a lot. We have grown a lot. Our evolution and this virus, this pandemic has brought us so much juice to grow on, so much. And I'm not, dismissing any of the sadness that people have felt and the hardships that people have felt, but it has been deep material for us to really grow and learn. So I have been on that side, Mia, of like, I don't want it to go back to what that normal was, because it was not sustainable. It was not a way of being sustainable with the planet and with each other and humanity. And hopefully we have learned a very valuable lesson in all of that. So as I'm walking through the park and thinking about that I don't want it to go back to normal, and what will it look like as we are evolving and unfolding, and all of those things, and putting prayers into the water. The park was alive, Mia. It was alive. The families were back, and there was all kinds of fires going, and there was all kinds of picnics and people playing baseball and frisbee, and getting out there with volleyball. And I mean, like, it was back to normal. I said it. And I realized this is what everybody's talking about. Oh, back to normal. It's so good to see people out and about and socializing and playing sports and on all of those things, and So yeah, that was a good thing. And I'm just curious, what does normal look like for you guys, and what do you see? Maybe just food for thought and something to ponder a little bit is like, how are those changes? What are the changes that are going to come about that you have learned? What are the lessons and the blessings that you have received during this last year and a half while we have been in this pandemic and this process of evolution, is
Mhm.
what I feel it is, you know? So, what do you think, Mia?
Um, well, I mean, I totally agree with the having seeing people connect and be in public again. I mean, there's and I'll show that to you when you come back. We've got a supermarket, a co-op near us, and you step outside, and there's all these tables and bright colored chairs, and these big old trees, and people just go and sit there and eat and make music, and kids play and dogs sit under tables, and it's just a place where people can be. And that place, all those tables have been put away for, god, 15 months more actually, because they were doing work before that. And you just go in, grab your food, and go get in your car and go for more than a year now. It was like that. And to suddenly come back up, and to all these colorful chairs are out. People are sitting outside under these beautiful trees. And it's just, that's what I love. That and I love that people are connecting again, and there's social distancing. There's, and when you go inside, you wear a mask, but outside it's like you're in nature eating again and being with other people, and that's the sort of stuff that I love. I am quite aware that people are, that's what they missed, and that's the normal we're talking about. We don't want the normal ever of sitting in a cubicle again, working in a cubicle, working away from home and away from family for many hours in a stretch every day. And I think that's where
A
we
lot
want
of
to look.
people have made that awareness that that's not okay for them, and that's, and a lot of people have made the awareness that, "Oh, get me back into my, my little bubble of where, safety, my bubble of safety or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, where were we? Where were we going with this? I don't remember.
Normal, back to normal, things opening up. How does it feel for you guys? How does it feel, as things are opening up? I can tell you that I'm sporting my beautiful new necklace that I got at the San Diego Farmers Market. Look at it. Isn't it gorgeous? My friend Yvonne picked it up for me because the macaw is one of my spirit animals that I use to go into the underground or the underworld. And so we went to the farmers market in San Diego, and um, boy, oh boy, it was crowded, and it was a little, woo, okay. I have not been in like major big public, like big public,
Mhm.
The farmers market that I normally go to it's small. But this was, woo, I did have to, okay, all right, I can do this. And there is a certain amount of, I don't know, anxiety perhaps, or trepidation and feelings of, okay, I'm going into and I have to stop and ask, is this the new conditioning that we have been subjugated to or subjected to? Is this the new conditioning that we're not supposed to be coming together in, you know, don't let the fear come. So it's interesting times.
Yeah, and I think that that's the main thing that you just mentioned there, that we can choose at every moment. Do we want to step into fear? Do we want to
Mhm.
give into that fear? Or can we raise our vibration and just be love? And I mean, you can still keep your distance, you're 6 feet apart, and feel the love. And um, Yeah, I think that's all I'm gonna say about it because that
Well, got my card handy for you guys. It happens to be the love card. So I was shuffling from this big old ass deck, which is many card decks. It is the Touchstone Moments and the Granola Wisdom decks all combined. And it
mm,
says, you ready, guys? Ready? Love. Yeah. So moving away from fear and moving into this space of love. I am loving. I am surrounded by love. I have loving people and experiences in my life. I am grateful for the love that surrounds me. I cheerfully express love. I love myself unconditionally. Today, I release the strings from my heart that bind me and allow the healing power of love into my life. I radiate love to everyone. I am unconditional love. So the next time you start feeling that fear, you can drop into this, and
yeah,
yeah, it's a beautiful mantra, affirmation card for sure.
exactly. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah,
So that also it feels like there's a bit of it calls for holding sacred space for each other, holding space for each other. Um, and to me, there's that outward, the smudging and the calling in the directions. But for me, the sacred space has always been kind of creating safety for everyone around yourself and setting that boundary of nothing other than safety and love will be allowed in here. That the intention
exactly. Exactly.
that we are in integrity, that we are in beauty, that we are in love, and that we honor and respect each other in this space. No matter what happens here, we will not allow anything other than that here. And somebody asked me for a hug yesterday, and I was not going to say no. um, she needed a hug, and so she got a hug.
Yeah, I don't know. I never stopped giving the hugs, but one of the things that has been really amazing was for me, because I am a touchy-feely, huggy person. I know I got this awareness at the very beginning of all of this was asking permission is probably a really good thing, regardless of pandemic,
Oh,
like,
absolutely, absolutely.
oh, wow. Of course. And that was, not my nature. When I would meet somebody, I would always go in for a hug. Now you can feel, you can read, if somebody is like, "Ooh, no," I'm not going to do that, but you can definitely read the energy of, if a person is, and most of the time people are open to hugs. So yeah, I haven't stopped giving hugs, that's for sure. But I'm a little bit more aware of, hey, can I give you a hug? Are you
Yeah.
open to hugging? Can we? Are we doing that? And I think that's a beautiful thing,
Mhm.
regardless. Hmm.
I have to say though that if you're coming to my house this time of the year, the person who came over yesterday left with a bag, massive bag full of herbs. She got, oh my gosh, more basil than she could probably feed 12 people with the amount of basil I gave her. And some mugwort and some lemon balm and some, gosh, what else?
The garden is blossoming aplenty. I love it.
Elderflowers. There was something else too. I'm trying to think what it was. She wanted catnip because she has a dog, a cat. Yeah. And then sitting outside and just watching the hummers come in and drink and listen to the birds and
That's quite a hug
just
in itself, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And that's for me the thing that I think these days I take time to sit outside and just enjoy nature and listen to all the sounds. And
Mm.
yeah, I love to record local birds. And there's a mockingbird nearby who would start singing and go through its whole um, anyway, and I would record it, and I would, sometimes when he's quiet and he doesn't play at all, I would start playing it, and wouldn't you know it, he will come down instantly and come and check, where's my competition, what's going on here.
Wow, 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 wow. We got two double, double, double. We've got double love and double protection.
My lord. Okay. Wow. Okay.
Well, let's
Well, I
talk
guess
about
that's why we
protection.
talked a little bit about sacred space and calling in sacred space and holding space.
Well, I think it's important. I think it is important to understand as we are re entering into the world, as we are taking our masks off, as we are doing our thing. Um, and like I said, I feel like the discussion about the shot is a personal thing, and I don't think that it's really something that is a topic for the shaman's tea unless you guys really want to get into it. I'm happy to, but I feel like that it's a personal decision. But as we are reopening and as we are stepping forward in this space, I think it is important to have the discussion about how you are protecting yourself. How are you protecting your energy? How are you protecting your home? How are you protecting yourself? And it goes beyond the mask, goes beyond that. And yes, opening sacred space, calling in your guides, understanding who you're working with, who is your team. I'm getting ready to go into the market. I'm going to utilize I don't have it here handy with me, but my Florida waters. I'm going to use those. I'm going to use um, my essential oils. I have a regimen of using the, balsam fir to ground me, my clary sage to open, and then my tobacco waters as a protection,
Mhm.
um, my Florida waters as a protection. But calling in and like you're saying, Mia, opening up that sacred space, calling in your guides, Archangel Michael, use that mighty sword. Give me strength as I walk through this, farmer's market. Give me the courage. Put a bubble around you. And you all probably know by now that my go-to is that sacred geometry of the Merkaba. And I will invoke that violet flame and that violet flame of the Merkaba around me anytime I go out. Anytime. So protection, yeah, it's important. What other things, Mia, can we do as far as protection goes?
Well, I mean, there's this salt, but that's more like around your property if you're dealing with all
For
sorts of
sure.
energies.
Well, that goes
I
back to the vampiric energy suckers, guys. We opened up talking about the vampiric energy, which is very funny. But yeah, so like we are doing a circle of salt around the location whenever we're in ceremony, and that is to keep that low vibration, that vampiric energy out. So that is a really good one. Layers of salt.
love having my shungite, and I put sacred geometry on the bottom of my shungite to just to
Oh,
like give it an extra boost. I put that by my computer. Any energy coming through the ethers coming at me. But yeah,
EMF energies, right? It's true.
for me, the highest protection is vibration. Vibration, vibration, vibration. And absolutely, I totally agree with using the Merkaba as protection and the violet light. For me, it's like nothing low vibrational want to come near me when my vibration is high. So staying in that light, staying in joy, staying in love. And one of the things I love to do is, especially sometimes when I'm sitting down and I'm, watching something and my brain is not busy, or when I'm meditating, I call an Archangel Metatron and I ask Metatron to upgrade my light quotient through my head, like this width, like the width of my head, and it comes through, and my body gets so hot.
Oh
It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
like, okay, I'm uploading light here. So that's been really a big part for me. Absolutely not, and that's the thing. I mean, fear is a very, very low vibrational um, emotion. And so when you're up there, you're not going to be in fear, and nothing that's low vibrational, including viruses, are going to want to come and have anything to do with you.
I think one of the
So,
most highest vibrations that we can stay in, and this is maybe why we're getting the doubles, right? Is this love, right? And so, you know, you're right. Keeping our own personal vibration higher. Which
mhm.
brings me to this whole beautiful topic of 7 days of harmony. Are you guys in it? Are you doing it? Whoa, what a difference in the world. And I thank you all. OMG. What? This has been phenomenal. So yeah, keeping the vibration up on the physical body is powerful. Yay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So 7 days of harmony. Can we talk a little bit about that? For those of you guys that don't know, and maybe you can jump in.
Oh, I was waiting for you. For me, universe was saying, "Oh, so you're doing 7 days of harmony. Let me see if you're committed." Because I had no internet for 4 days again. And the repairman came out and he couldn't find the problem. And he said, I need to call the engineers. And the engineer came in, and the engineer started bad mouthing the guy who came before him. And I just sort of looked at him as to say,
Gossip.
I am so grateful for the guy who came out and looked at my internet. And I was like, I'm not going to badmouth the poor guy who came into my house at 8 in the morning on a Monday because he couldn't find the problem.
Is so true. Oh my gosh. So yeah, and that's part of it. And you know, being able to be aware, right? To have that awareness of like, oh, I'm not going to collude with this guy who's showing up, wants to badmouth, and really what he really wants to do is make himself boosted.
Mhm,
Right,
mhm.
that was what his ulterior motive, whether he knew it or not, was he was trying to boost himself by bad mouthing somebody else. So how many times do we do that, you know? And then there is the colluding of it. And, you know, we can get so wrapped up into the colluding of low vibration, gossipy stuff like that, you know, without even being aware of it. So, you know, the fact that we can be aware of it and catch it is like, yay, 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 team is good, is beautiful. So, you know, the basics here are that I got this download, this information in a meditation, and it was an urgent call, is really what it was, an urgent call for us to step in a deeper way over the next, at the time it was 7 days, or 7 days, starting on the solstice. And so if you're new to it, it's all good. You can jump in now and do your 7 days
Mhm.
and it'll be fine. So I'm just going to pull up some of the things that come up with this. It's pretty straightforward, that you'll be willing to commit. that you'll be willing to commit to um, being in right relationship, first of all. 7 days of harmony is basically the idea is that we want to put a new grid down on the earth, and that we are going to commit to doing certain things during these 7 days. What are the certain things? The certain things are, number one, don't argue. Don't argue, don't fuss, right? With friends, with people on the internet, with the people who cut you off in traffic. Don't collude with the repairman, all of that. We're not going to get into this fussy stuff, right? In fact, what we're going to do, which is the next commitment, is communicate with love. Okay, so we've got this love card that keeps, we got it twice today. two times for the love. So how do we communicate with love when we're frustrated? How do we communicate with love when we're actually angry? How do we communicate with love when things are not going the way that we thought that they should, right? So we just come back to that space of knowing. What does it say, Mia?
Reacting, not responding, not reacting
There
card.
you go. Coming back to this space of knowing that you are love. You are love. You are that beam of love. You are unconditional love, that no matter what, even if you're saying, I'm angry with you, you can say it through the lips of love. That it is through that unconditional love for yourself that you're willing to speak the truth in a calm and not reactive way, but with clear action, with thoughtfulness, with mindfulness, saying, wow, that really hurt my feelings, or how that made me really angry. It's okay to feel all of the emotions. It doesn't mean that we got to put on the little dimple smile and go through life and say, oh, and push all that shit down. No, it's communicating in truth and compassion in a way of sweetness without denying what it is that you're feeling, that you're coming from a place of action, not reaction, that you're not reacting to whatever has happened in your world or whatever, like your guy said. So, talking about the repairman that had come before, and so you're going to speak with yourself from a place of love.
Yeah.
You're going to speak with your friends and your family members. Sometimes that's the most challenging. And sometimes with friends, we end up maybe having too much of that comfort zone, that where we take it for granted and we just say things off the cuff. Your friends and your family are the ones that you need to tenderly the most be aware of, that you're speaking with love and compassion, right? Your neighbors, those ones that get on your last nerve, you got to speak with love to them too, right?
But I do find that the person we're sometimes the harshest towards is like that inner voice when we talk
Oh
to
yeah,
ourselves when we
self-talk.
listen. That becoming aware of what we're saying about ourselves is vital, that we become aware of that, because I mean it's really hard to be nice to other people when inside your mind just goes on and on about how how negative you
Right?
perceive
That
yourself.
self-talk is so powerful. Oh, you didn't do it. Blah, 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 blah. Whose voice is that anyway? That's a really beautiful time to kind of go in and take a look at, whose voice is that? Is that really what you think about yourself? Or is that just a perpetuated thought process that comes down the channel, down the DNA, down the, story. Whose voice is that?
Yeah, and another thing that I wanted to say was that a lot of the time stuff happens and we instantly want to speak out and say, I'm angry with you because you did it.
Oh, yeah, blame, right? The blame shame thing. That
And I
was in our
almost
guided
kind of,
meditation this last week, the whole blaming.
yeah, and I there is like where I don't want to go too deep into my own life to give examples here, but something happened in my family where something was done and I felt all these emotions. And it, I was like, I was working in the garden and I'm feeling it and I'm feeling it and I'm feeling it. And I'm like trying to think like, why am I feeling this so strongly? And I had to spend like a few days just working outside, really working hard to kind of unwind all these strands and find out where exactly did I get stuck on this feeling, because what was done was really not, you know,
To
there was
you.
really no need to be upset with anybody, and I could easily have come to this person and said da 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 da, you so and so. But to take that time and say, I am feeling this so strongly, why am I feeling this so strongly? And take that time to own some of that, and go back and unwind it and untangle all these strands and go, ah, I got it. I understand now that this relationship was, and that's something that I'm now also, getting better at, where I feel like when strong emotions come up, don't necessarily just go straight to that person and say, even if you are communicating non-violently, before you go to that person, really let it sit a little bit and let it kind of settle in you, and take that time to feel it, and then maybe unwind it further and further until you can come to a place where you go, oh, wait, actually I wasn't in integrity here, or we weren't in good relationship here, and it's now I can work it forward, and now I can see where it ended up, and there's really nobody to be blamed. I just had to sit with my emotions. I had to understand my emotions. I had to, untangle it. And now there's really nobody to blame, and I can send love and we can move on. But, I, it's not something that I have been able to do until pretty recently, I think.
Beautiful. That is so, thank you for sharing that, Mia. That's beautiful. And it goes to the old school teaching. I mean, this goes way back to Louise Hay and the very beginning of Louise Hay stuff, as the I ams, you know,
Mhm.
I am. I am angry. We don't even need to say at you, with you, about this. We just, I am angry or I am whatever. And now we're taking responsibility for our own
Mhm.
feelings and not giving our power away to anybody else,
Mhm.
that you did it, or you did it, or it was this because of this, or because of that, or whatever. Is that, whoa, I am owning this. And by you sitting with it for a little while, and as you say, unraveling it a little bit, is that it allows you to dig a little bit deeper into, well, what is that anger about? And it probably really doesn't have anything to do with another person, you know?
Exactly. Old
So,
wounds.
old wounds, exactly, old wounds. And it's time for us to stop being, or stop walking around with these gaping wounds and blaming everybody for our gaping wounds. You know, you're a freaking adult now. Let's
And in
go.
the process, hurting somebody else and creating a new wound, because you couldn't go back and look at your own wounding and say, oh gosh, yeah, I remember you. We've been working.
Oh, yeah. Remember, I am this, I am that. What am I really? Am I really angry, or am I really hurt? And which leads to one of our next little things, in this 7 days of harmony, and that is, I am forgiving. I can forgive. I can let it go, and I can forgive. And when you catch yourself jumping into the self-talk that's maybe a little lower vibration and so forth, quickly turn around. Oh, lovely, I forgive you. Speaking to yourself, you know this is how I feel like we can really raise our vibration in a very quick way, and walk in that space of protection, is by owning our stuff, letting things go quickly. We don't need to own every transgression that somebody does or whatever, or we do. Exactly. Blech. Right?
Yeah.
We can
Mm.
forgive the big stuff, we can forgive the small stuff, we cannot, like grab on. I've seen people where, and especially on social media, people will be quick to grab on any tiny little infraction or any tiny little thing to, you know, call people out or whatever, and it seems to me that it's like pent up frustration about something that is way deeper than whatever the shit is that you're venting about, It's like, good gracious. So, yeah, forgiving the big and the small, remembering that forgiveness is really hardly ever about the other person.
Exactly. Yeah. And
I
if you've ever had that person come to you and say, "Oh man, I've got to tell you, I did this and this, I'm really sorry," and you just go, "I forgive you,"
sure.
and that it's almost like taking a weight off of somebody's shoulders.
The thing
That
is that's so tricky about that, Mia, is that sometimes we don't ever get that apology.
yeah,
Sometimes
exactly.
we're thinking that we have to wait for the apology to come in order to forgive, and that shit ain't never showing up,
Yeah,
because they don't
yeah,
think that they've done anything wrong or whatever.
exactly.
So that's a
Yeah,
big one.
that's absolutely true. And that's the other thing where that I've been working on, where I go back and I time travel, and I would go to where my mother used to say something that would like it would create like a groove for the rest of my life. I look back and like that one thing that she said had such an impact on me. Um, and I, okay, I'm going to give you the example. So
Okay.
I did a performance, and I was in high school, a drama performance, and I afterwards asked her, "So how was I?" And she said, "Oh man, you really put on. Basically, you were really dramatic, but not at all in a positive way, but that's what drama is, right? We're stepping outside of ourselves." And so she couldn't handle that. And so it was like, I was like, just you just put a
Defeated.
nail through me. I just completely
Aw.
deflated. And I was never ever interested in any drama again. And so when I was meditating the other day, and I'm working on old stuff to forgive. Where do I go? And I wanted to go there. And I thought, I have forgiven her, but I want to take that words and I want to do some magic with them. And sitting with that and rewrote her words. And
Beautiful
I
idea.
this is her words to me now, and that words is going to carry me through to where I am right now, and I'm going to erase that words that originally came out, and I'm going to put these beautiful words to come out of her mouth. That's about reaffirming who I am at that age and my strengths at that time, as opposed to what that was. Erase, replace, play it out, feel it, feel her saying it, and now feel what I feel like today. I can rewrite my history. Why can I not? I am
We
a
do this in the
powerful
all
human
love gathering in this way, is that the time travel, and instead of like rewriting your mother's story would be like you telling yourself at that age, like reclaiming, like when we were talking at the very beginning, reclaim that little one who was hurt, and you let her know you got her, and you tell her the new words. It's a beautiful thing. That's awesome.
Yeah, there are so many ways that we can create magic, that we can heal, that we can write over. It's amazing.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep, it's so true. And in the way of forgiveness is like forgiving yourself for even feeling that you were any less than, you
exactly.
know? So forgiving ourselves in the moment that we're triggered by something, just automatically forgiving ourselves when we're feeling triggered by what, it doesn't really even matter, is part of that whole forgiveness piece. Forgiving ourselves in the very minute that we start feeling like the bear is being poked, and like the trigger is up, that we can, call on that little one or the one who's feeling triggered and say, oh, honey, I'm sorry. Sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry you're feeling triggered. I
Yeah.
forgive you. I
Yeah,
love
exactly.
you.
And instead of holding that story in and having that wounding kind of through time sitting there festering,
Right?
it's completely rewritten and healed, and that track is erased. It's like, here I am right now. I even have a picture actually of myself as a very young child on my altar, because she's still out there. She's still out there, and she needs all the healing I can send her from here. We are so powerful.
Bring her home, girl. Tuck her in the back of your heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is the deep work. That is the deep work that we're stepping into in the all love. We pull those traumas out of the back of the heart. We reclaim those lost ones, those little ones that have been poked and hurt, and all of those little tiny nuances that your mom probably didn't even think about what she had said and had no idea that it left an impact on you in that way, you know so it's beautiful that you've been not only been able to forgive her, but to let that inner child come home, and that you're having that dialogue with her now. This is, what you can be. What was it? Put off? Was that the term?
It's not in English, so it's very hard to translate what she said.
I see.
Putting it on, you were like lathering it on, something like that, but I can't really translate it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it would be interesting to do a word deconstruction around that, and you know recreate it like you
Yeah.
in
But I
a
mean, as I said, it's healed. There's
beautiful.
not, I don't need to, but I wanted people to know that there are so many tools that that's there for you to use. You don't always need a shaman to do this for you. You have the ability to
You are
sit
the
and
shaman. If there's anything that you guys take away from the shaman's tea, I hope that it's that. That, you know, we all walk the shaman's path, and none of us are shamans. And we're all shamans.
yeah.
Right? So I do hope that if there's anything that when you're walking this path with us, that is one of the things that you have a takeaway, is that we all walk this path, and we all, rather you're in a business suit and you go to work and you do marketing or whatever the thing is, it doesn't matter. We all have an inner shaman. We all have that intrinsic nature. And so yeah. Call on
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
Call on that inner self. So the last one, um, in our 7 days of harmony and creating this incredible grid on Pachamama, is your generosity. Generosity, random acts of kindness,
Mhm.
maybe not so random, maybe pre-planned, but it's kindness and generosity in general. And that for 7 days, every day, you're going to have that at the forefront of your mind, of your heart. And that, it might not be ways of generosity monetarily, but generosity in ways of gifts or your time or a smile or a hand or, lots of different ways that we are generous. And, it's coming from the kindness of your heart. It's coming from that place of compassion that is, and I like the idea of anonymous,
Mhm.
because I think sometimes we're doing these acts of kindness from a space of non-compassion, or that we're getting something out of it, right?
Mhm.
Rather, it is a recognition for it, you know. So I recommended in the original thing was like, try doing it without recognition. Try doing it, whatever it is that you're being generous about, without taking a selfie, without, you know, any kind of recognition whatsoever. Not don't You don't even need to tell anybody about it.
The left hand should not know what the right hand is doing. As the Bible says.
I didn't know that. What does it mean in the Bible when it says that?
That when you do good deeds, you do not do it for your ego. You don't do it to get acknowledgement. You don't do it to, get a higher standing in your community. You do that purely from your heart. So left hand don't know what the right hand is doing.
Wow, that's interesting. That's very cool. I didn't know it.
Well,
Well, I
how
that
many?
I didn't grow up in a Christian household in that way. I grew up in a Buddhist, quasi-Buddhist place. So I don't know a lot of the Bible things. So yeah. Yeah. So that's cool. The right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing. Is that what? Yeah, cool. Yeah, and I mean, like, it feels like it is that whole thing of letting the ego go. These things are not coming from a place of ego. This urgent call to lay this energy grid down through these ways certainly does not have anything to do with the ego. It has everything to do with being in your heart space and being in the moment, being clear about what you're doing as you're doing it. So speaking from love, speaking with that kindness, moving forward in generosity, loving yourself unconditionally, right?
Mhm.
These are the way that we shift the collective consciousness, shift the energy. As you guys know, that for 4 days last week, Mia, you and I were not on the Shaman's team last week, so we missed this whole big thing. But if you were feeling in a funkaroo last week, the Schumann resonance was down completely. There
Mm.
was like, what? How can that even be? No resonance on planet Earth? Like, crap, I got enough resonance to set the Schumann energy off. So it was really interesting. It wasn't just off of the Schumann resonance website itself. It was down on heart math. It was down. I mean, everybody had it down. There was no vibration that they could detect, that they could measure for 4 days. They were calling it 4 days of darkness that we had last week. And I believe that as I started checking into, well, why? And I got a text from one of my clients asking me about my thoughts on the Schumann resonance, why it was down. And they asked me if Pachamama's soul had left.
Hmm.
And that kind of was a little jarring. So I went in and I did a deep meditation, and this is what came out. This is what came out was that it is an urgent call for all of us to do 7 days of harmony, if not more, right? But as a collective coming together for these 7 days. So that was to begin June 20th on the solstice. Today's the 23rd, so we're 3 days in. So we've got 4 more days.
I
So,
think we can do it.
well, as best we can, I certainly say that, I would like to think that I think that I am that way all the time,
Mhm.
but I will be real, like real, that this level of consciousness with this has definitely, I've caught myself, and mine is my inner judger of myself. My inner judger is off the charts. But this has been a big big thing for me, and in the awareness, of what is going on inside this beautiful head of mine. Who is this thinker, and what are the thoughts that are being thought? And even though you may not express that outwardly, you do.
Oh,
Your energy
so
puts it out there.
my husband showed me a video the other day, and it was about I can't remember the name of the video, but it's about a housewife who I think wants to become a dance instructor or something. And it's this beautiful, beautiful woman, and you hear her inner thoughts the whole time. And it is the most negative, nasty thoughts you'll ever hear. And 5 minutes in, I said, I cannot handle this anymore. I cannot handle another minute of it. I need to stop this. And yet, this is what a lot of people live with every single day. That constant negative talking that's going on. Um, and then I was realizing also, like your YouTube channel. I don't know what you subscribe to every day, but the stuff that comes in, like this so and so angry person on an airline, this and this angry scammer, this and this, and I would go click on, please don't recommend this channel, please don't recommend this channel, please don't recommend this channel. But it's like constantly more negativity that is, you can so easily go, oh yeah, show me how so and so got really, upset about something. And I'm like, no, I don't want to have that in my energy field. I don't want this negativity. And this actively saying no, 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 no. It's almost like a part of our to-do list every day.
Well, and
No,
maybe
no, universe, I don't want this.
right. And maybe it is about turning the focus around to what we do want. What are
Yeah.
we wanting to create, as opposed to, feeding the energy? Because I feel like even the no energy creates that vibration and that ripple effect out too. And so it's not so much about, yes, we have to have appropriate boundaries. Yes, we're not going to have all of the schmuck, yuck, and the lower vibration on our social media, in our YouTube, in our life, blah, 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 blah. But it is, what do we want to create?
Mhm.
A world of love, a world where we can speak honestly without being coming from that, bleh, when we are upset. Maybe we need more role models around how to handle when we're upset, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. So
it's pretty
I'm curious.
amazing.
I'm curious to see who people are following on YouTube that raises their vibration.
I follow you. I don't follow too many people. I mean, I will go on YouTube and I will look up for certain things, but I guess I'm not much of a follower.
No, but I know what you're saying. But a lot of people, are out there in the morning, open up their YouTube channel and want to see what's going on.
Interesting.
It has become a source of news for a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, yeah, I'm curious, like who brings up your energy and who does not. And it's amazing also to see like people who last year really lifted me up. Now I'm looking at them and I go, I need new people now. It's not
Yeah,
like they
yeah,
don't
yeah.
lift me up anymore, but you keep growing and shifting, and as you grow and shift, new people come your way, and you want new food, new spiritual food.
It's true.
And it's not as if I
True,
get my
so true. We can all relate to that, I'm sure, that some of the teachers that we've had in the past are, they become obsolete because we've learned it and now we're learning something different. And they were great, for the time. And yeah, so that would be cool to hear who else you guys are vibing with and what's going on. Making sure that it's feeding you in that higher vibration. Really stop and check that out, no matter what you're doing. Is it feeding you, or is it somehow feeding something inside of you that wants to collude with the negativity again. And yes, I want to sit down and talk about how yucky the last repairman was, you know? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to observe, and I'm going to talk a little bit about my mama. I used to observe with my mom that it was like she loved sinking her teeth into something that she could express the roar about, you know, her negativity or her, you know, and so she would love to try to figure out whatever. It didn't matter, you know, it didn't matter where she was or who she was around, because she had stuff that was unhealed within her. She would love to just sink her teeth into whatever it was that she could express this, you know. So I feel like sometimes when we collude with these negative sorts of energies, and it's just like it gives you that venue or that space to open up to what's really needs to come up and be explored, and instead of just puking it out all over, you know, the waitress or the store clerk or the whatever it is, you know, that you can find, like Mia was saying earlier, to unravel it. Let me just sit with this. Let me sit with whatever this is that is feeling that I'm not that I feel like I just need to grab a hold of and, you know, express, you know. Maybe it's an unlying or underlying, as the way I should say it, an underlying thing that needs to be healed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
all right. Is there anything you need to remind people of, or is
Mindful Monday meditations, come on in. Let's go. It's donation based. Everybody is welcome, all levels, all different walks, whatever way that you know you are walking, you can meander on into the Mindful Monday meditations on Zoom. Um, I'd love to have you. They're really awesome. We've been doing them in 8-week um, blocks, you know, so I think that we're in maybe the halfway point. But it doesn't really matter because the one does not piggyback on the other, so to speak. In fact, they're all kind of channeled by me based on what's happening in the collective, what's up for us at the time. I start pulling notes together, I start feeling what's going on. Like um, in our last one this past Monday, and they're up on YouTube as well. They're up on the channel. You can find them. They're open for you guys. This last week was all about going into the forgiveness, deep, deep forgiveness. So if you feel like you need a little bit more work on that, week before that was, oh, that was our shod, which is really an old Tibetan meditation that's been around since, you know, the 11th century. Um, and that is feeding your shadow, feeding the demons, feeding the shadow. So each week they're different, they're vastly different, and it's beautiful. And I do try to open with a settling meditation where we're coming in, and as people are coming in and getting settled and all of that, and you know, bringing you fully present here to the moment, and then get into the bulk of the meditation or the theme of the meditation. But they're an hour long on Mondays, and I hope to see you guys. Um, and let's see, anything else that we need to talk about?
well, so is it Thursday night that the full moon is?
Tomorrow night, the 24th, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's tomorrow night. Okay. So
Oh, oh, it's my jam. You guys, I've said it before. I'm a quadruple Capricorn. This is the Capricorn moon. I am in my element.
yeah, so take time to do some ceremony and maybe do a nice fire and put stuff that in the fire that's old, that doesn't serve you anymore, old scripts, Old injuries, old insults, like, you're not a good actress because you put on too much or whatever, just go put it in the fire and thank you so much.
Mm,
Honoring needs to be done. And yeah, take this time. It's very, very powerful, these times of full moons, eclipses, super moons, solstice. These are amazing, amazing portals where you can do some deep, deep work. And so when you incorporate it with some ceremony and you do some honoring and you do some thanking and you letting go, it is so, so powerful. And if you were to add some amazing mantras to your meditation, don't neglect these things.
right.
Maybe do a despacho. We've done despachos in this on this channel before. Yeah, just really make use of these very, very powerful days between solstice and this super moon come in. And yeah.
Whew, we're in it, guys. We're in it. We're in the thick. We're in the deep. You might as well just go ahead and do the work because it's like gonna pound you if you don't. So taking it to ceremony, doing it in the energetics makes it all that much sweeter, all that much easier. You don't want to get the literal 2x4 upside your head in order for you to get the message. You really want to cleanse and clear, and yeah, do it up. Take good care. It's an emotional time. It is an emotional time. Anytime that we have a full moon, it's already emotional. We know that, right? But a super moon, what? Yeah, emotional. And as you were saying, Mia, this is also the bookend, right, of our last super moon that we had. So we're kind of bookending from our first super moon. And when was that? That was like the first super moon was June,
Yeah.
in the beginning of June, or no, in May.
I'm
Where
actually not sure it was a super moon. It was a lunar eclipse.
lunar eclipse, super moon, I think it was all the same. But yeah, okay. Anyway, it's a bookend, right? It's a bookend to that. And so be thinking about what those intentions were here and how far you've come in May to here, to June, to this time, and um, what needs to maybe be weeded out of your garden, that's maybe not really coming to fruition. Maybe you've realized that, oh, there was something that you had set an intention, but you didn't really feed it. And so now, we're just going to pluck that out and put that, that's not really. But this one, we're going to really nurture. And this one, we're really going to feed. So really be intentional about what it is that you were thinking about in that last full moon, and what your intentions were, and how it was that you were, what it is and how it is that you can bring it to fruition. Or does it just need to be, oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's complete, it's done?
Part of my full moon ritual is to clean, deep clean my house. Today I took a bookshelf and I took all the books off of it and vacuumed the inside of the books and
Oh, that's
then wiped the books down. Then went through them and made a pile of books that I don't want anymore. And then I vacuumed underneath it and wiped everything down and put the bookshelf back and then reorganized the books and cleaned the windows behind it. And it was like, this feels very, like, and then bringing out the Florida water and sprinkle it and clear it and cleanse it to sort of like, I want everything old, anything that doesn't serve out and gone, starting fresh and clean. And of course, that's the same thing even in my garden where I just, there's so much that needs to be.
That's usually my process on the new moon.
Yeah, me too, but it's like, do
But
it
you
now.
got it on the full moon this time too, huh?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
everything feels the other way around. I mean, what I do on my full moon, I've been doing on my new moon now. It's just like everything feels like nothing is set in stone anymore. It's yeah.
Nothing is normal. I will say that I've been spending a lot of time at the water and feeding the water with intentions and really, putting a lot of love and energy and despacho and prayer into the water. And I would encourage you guys to do the same with this full moon. If you are near a body of water, that you can put some love and intention into the body of water. I noticed that my Bay Area where I live, I've never ever seen it this full. This full moon has got it just, oh my gosh, it's completely, completely full. So, yep, it is a good reminder of how, we can embody the fullness of all of our emotions, embody the fullness of our time here and what it is that we want to do in creating a harmony grid on earth and being in that higher vibration and moving
Mhm.
forward. Boom.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right then.
Thank you, thank you, thank
So,
you, sister, my sister.
my sister. All right, so we'll see. We'll probably meet again next Wednesday. I mean, we like I really felt it last weekend. I mean, last Wednesday, and I just had to garden and garden and garden and garden and garden. And I felt three
It was
massive.
such an oppressive energy last week too.
Yeah, no, I could not come up here and be light at that point. I needed to work a lot of stuff out.
Well, I honor you for that, sis. I honor you. I honor you. And I honor all of you guys who are working through it, going through it, really standing in your power, taking back, reclaiming all the love that you truly are. I really honor you all for all of that. And I'm grateful for you. So thank you, thank you, thank you for joining the Shaman's Tea today.
Awesome. All right, so maybe next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday it is. See you then. Oh, got it. All right, beauties. So much love, so much love. We are so blessed. I feel like I need to pull one more card out of this deck for an end. For an end card for you guys. Cosmic Child. Cosmic Child. I am a child of the cosmos. I am connected to the great star nations and the sweet Mother Earth. I nurture my body with healthy food. I nurture my heart with loving kindness. I nurture my spirit with cosmic energy. Today, I lovingly connect with friends, family, and nature. I am a
Mm,
cosmic child.
beautiful.
There we know.
Woohoo!
All righty. So much love. Thank you, Mia. Love you.
Love you too.
See you guys next week. Hit subscribe, please. Share. We love it when you share. Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you. And visit Mia's channel. Do it. We love you.